The king of the north!
I am the dragon's daughter.
What right does the wolf judge the lion?
Hello, sweet summer children. Episode 5 Eastwatch was, well, let's talk about it. I can describe this episode in 3 words. Winter is here. I would like you to describe the episode in 3 words in the comments. Let me know how you thought it was. I feel like if I don't say every episode was great, then I get flayed. But every episode isn't great. It's unrealistic to think that every episode is going to be great. Some episodes are just okay. So let's talk. Eastwatch started out with Bronn and Jaime. Bronn saved Jaime's life. Not only did he push him out of the way of the dragon, but he pulled him from the Blackwater Rush. If Bronn hadn't have pulled Jaime out, Jaime would have sunk straight to the bottom in his heavy armor. Bronn immediately sets Jaime straight and tells him basically that he didn't save him out of love and that Jaime doesn't have the right to die until Bronn gets his castle. Bronn also lets Jaime know that their partnership ends at dragons, which points to him siding with Tyrion, which I think everyone kind of agrees on anyway. And we get a beautiful shot of Joffrey's sword, Widow's wail, the ruby case in a Baratheon antlers, and then Jaime brooding over his life decisions and the consequences of those decisions, or he's just sad and worried and scared that he has to tell Cersei about the L that he just took. Jaime is actually really irritating me, and Jaime is like one of my favorite characters. Daenerys turned the field to ash, and Tyrion looks shooketh. Daenerys' political speech was a callback to the wheel she wants to break, even though House Targaryen is a spoke on that wheel.
Lannister, Targaryen, Baratheon, Stark, Tyrell. They're all just spokes on a wheel.
She said she wanted to break the wheel in season 5, and that was a callback to that statement. Some Lannister soldiers kneel immediately. Drogon seems to be impatient and he's just ready to go home. So he gives a huge roar and urges some more people to kneel. And then there are a few stragglers left after his roar. And among those still refusing to kneel is Randyll and Dickon Tarly, Samwell Tarly's father and brother. They refuse to kneel because Tyrion is a kinslayer for killing Tywin and because Daenerys is a foreigner with an army of savages. Randyll Tarly hates savages and wildlings. It was foreshadowed that Dickon and Randyll would die like Rickard and Brandon Stark did by the hands of the Mad King before Robert's Rebellion. This was foreshadowed in the episode 2, Stormborn. Tyrion offers the wall to Randyll Tarly, but Randyll Tarly is an idiot. Dickon an even bigger idiot. Drogon cremates them and turns them into ash. Nothing is left but ashes. So I was thinking, how hot is Drogon's flame really? So he cremated Randyll and Dickon in less than 1 minute. A human cremation takes 1 to 3 hours at heat ranging from 1400 to 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's say 1 hour at 1400 degrees. Let's multiply that by 60. Drogon's fire could potentially be 84,000 degrees. Jaime and Cersei's conversation was basically pointless. Cersei, we're losing. Cersei, let's sue for peace. It wasn't really needed. We didn't even need to see that. Cersei does find out that Olenna killed Joffrey, and she's pissed that Jaime offered her poison instead of letting her die screaming. Jaime warned Cersei about the Dothraki, and this reminds me of a conversation that Cersei had with Robert in season 1.
Let's say Viserys Targaryen lands with 40,000 Dothraki screamers at his back. We hole up in our castles. Wise move.
So Cersei's plan might be to hold up in the Red Keep and wait out the coming storms. On Dragonstone, Daenerys comes home on the back of Drogon, trying to frighten Jon with Drogon, but Jon is blood of the dragon, the son of Rhaegar Targaryen, the real king of the 7 kingdoms. He brings Drogon to heel, and Drogon lets Jon pet him. Daenerys is shocked. Jon and Dany have some meaningless conversation, but it does lead to her asking him about the knife he took in the heart, which, by the time this is all over, Daenerys may very well be Nissa, and Daenerys may be taking a knife in the heart. But anyway, then in comes Jorah. Jon was the steward for Lord Commander Jeor Mormont, Jorah's father. Daenerys is happy to see Jorah, and Jon looked either confused or jealous. In the north, we get some beautiful shots. Bran is watching all these ravens at once from the Godswoods in Winterfell. We finally get to see Eastwatch by the sea and the huge army of the dead marching towards Eastwatch. As soon as he sees the Night King, he gets the fuck out of there and instructs Maester Walken to send ravens to everyone, warning them. The three-eyed raven told Bran he wouldn't walk, but he would fly. And a lot of people seem to think that Bran will warg a dragon or ride a dragon because of that statement. But he's flying already, and it's not a dragon, it's a raven. Bran is flying the ravens. He's the three-eyed raven. Bran will not fly any dragons. The maesters of the Citadel are either pompous skeptics or straight-up idiots that disregard everything that means anything. They have their letter from Bran warning them about the long night, and they don't care. Sam tries to explain to them, and Sam knows Bran, but they won't listen. They also know the death of Sam's brother and father and haven't told him yet. They're assholes. Tyrion and Varys talking was Tyrion trying to convince himself that what Daenerys did was the only choice she had. Varys compares her to the Mad King again. I think we need to watch Varys a little more closely because Varys might very well turn on Daenerys. Varys read Jon's sealed raven because he's a slick spider like that. So Jon finds out that Arya and Bran are alive, but he really doesn't even acknowledge it. I mean, he should have been more shocked. But he moves right on. Tyrion and Jorah cook up a plot to catch a white to prove to Cersei. I think that's so stupid. They don't need Cersei's help. Her forces were just obliterated. Dany has the Dothraki, Unsullied, and dragons. Jon has the North and the Wildlings and the Watch. Cersei's help is not needed. What help does she have? Dany wants Jon. She's looking at him like she doesn't want him to leave. And when he tells her that he doesn't need her permission to leave, it sets her on fire inside. The Northern Lords and the Lords of the Vale are talking shit about Jon to Sansa. And Arya doesn't like Sansa's political answers. And she basically pulls up on Sansa and calls her out on it. Sansa's reaction was not the right reaction. And Arya hit the nail on the head. You might disagree with me, but I think Arya is right in this situation. When Bran was ruling Winterfell, a man came in talking about Robb, nowhere near what these men are saying about Jon. And Bran not only corrected them, but he asked him, "Do you remember your vows?"
Generally, yes. But I've sent all the young men off to fight Robb Stark's war.
King Robb. It is not his war. He didn't choose it.
Maybe not, my lord. But he called in his banners and took the men.
Joffrey killed my father. Your liege lord. Do you remember your vows, sir?
Because, you know, you just do not let treasonous statements roll off the tongues of your lords. Unless what Arya said was correct. And you hope Jon doesn't come back. And you might need the lords you're talking about to support your claim to Winterfell. Sansa is ambitious. She always has been. She betrayed her father and abandoned her family to become queen. Yes, she was young. Yes, she was dumb. Yes, she learned a lot since then. But no, I will not make excuses for Sansa. Sansa would much rather be a queen than a princess. In King's Landing, Davos and Tyrion get there and they both flash back on Tyrion's murder chronicles. Davos' son died in the Battle of the Blackwater and Tyrion killed Tywin. Bronn arranges a secret meeting with Tyrion and Jaime, and Tyrion and Jaime's reunion was boring. Jaime references his conversation with Bronn in season 5, and basically they arrange a meeting with Cersei to come to terms and halt fighting to fight the real enemy. In Flea Bottom, on the streets of Steel, a familiar lad is forging weapons. Gendry, the real heir to the Iron Throne, Robert Baratheon's son. Davos wants to take Gendry, and Gendry doesn't take much convincing, and just like Robert, he has a warhammer, and his warhammer has the Baratheon stag on it. Davos names Gendry Clovis. He just couldn't think of anything better than Clovis when the gold cloaks ran up. They paid 15 gold dragons apiece to the gold cloaks to go away, and they also gave them some Viagra crab meat. Cersei has a reward out for Tyrion. The gold cloaks notice him and want to collect that reward, but Gendry turns them into dead gold cloaks with his warhammer. Cersei's pregnant. Jaime looks happy. I'm disgusted. Cersei knew about the meeting that Bronn arranged, and she let it happen. I'm pretty sure Qyburn's little birds probably figured that out. She's going to do some Tywin shit, murdering some folks at dinner or a wedding or something mischievous. I'm not feeling this Jaime at all. In the books, Cersei sends him a letter for help and he ignores it and burns the letter like he's no longer her puppet. And I'm waiting for this Jaime to happen in the show. Jon and Gendry meet up in the cave at Dragonstone, and we get Ned Stark and Robert Baratheon 2.0. Jorah is loading up a crate of dragon glass, and Tyrion comes to say his goodbye. Tyrion gives Jorah the coin that the slaver gave them in season 5. Daenerys is flirting with Jon some more, and he utters Arthur Dayne's words to her. I wish you good fortune in the wars to come. Gilly is reading, and she finds out that Rhaegar had an annulment and was married in a secret ceremony in Dorne. Sam's so frustrated that he doesn't even notice what she says, and he loses his shit and steals books out of the vault and leaves the Citadel. He uses his father's words about the accomplishments of better men. Basically, he's done with the Citadel and he's heading north to Winterfell. Arya knows damn well Littlefinger is watching her or sees her. She's not an idiot. She's a faceless assassin, for God's sakes. So I think she knows Littlefinger knows that she is wary of him. The letter she found was the raven that Sansa sent Robb, calling her father a traitor and asking Robb to bend the knee to Joffrey. Littlefinger is using this raven to put an even bigger rift between Sansa and Arya. The raven was all Cersei's words, and Sansa didn't really have a choice but to write it. But Arya is definitely going to confront Sansa about this raven, and I don't know what's going to unfold there. So when Jon and company get to Eastwatch, the conversation with Tormund was awesome. I agree with Tormund. No need to convince the queen who fucks her brother. She can't help them if she wanted to. Tormund has the Brotherhood in ice cells, the Hound, Beric, and Thoros. Jon remembers the Hound from Winterfell. Gendry doesn't like the Brotherhood because they gave him to Melisandre. Jorah knows Thoros. Thoros and Jorah fought side by side during the Greyjoy Rebellion, Siege of Pike. They both stormed the castle, so they're acquainted. Tormund doesn't like Jorah because his father was basically the wildling bane. They all go beyond the wall to catch a white, and there are apparently no horses at Eastwatch because they're walking. Oh, and there's a blizzard. Okay, so I don't think this episode was all that good. It was okay. The cut in episodes seems rushed and just not put together well. Like they just want it to be over with already and they want to move on to other things. I think some of Jaime and Cersei's rhetoric wasn't needed. Like, I'd rather know, where's Grey Worm? Where's Theon? Where's Euron? And for God's sakes, where is Ghost? I also think the reveal of Rhaegar's annulment was lackluster for sure. That was a huge, enormous reveal, and it was just swept under the rug. I also think it's stupid to go capture a white to prove to Cersei that the army of the dead exists. She has a zombie as her bodyguard, for God's sakes. She knows of the possibility. She's an idiot and she can't help them anyway. It's pointless. But anyway, I'm not shitting on the show. I love the show. An average episode of Game of Thrones shits on anything else on TV, but I'm just saying how I feel. But what did you guys think of the episode? I want to know. As always, thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell and join the sweet summer family. Okay, my sweet summer children. Have a good day.